Yeah, a lot of people don't think that. They think that they have to master big goals all the time. It's just like, no, a small goals lead you to the big goals. But first, you gotta crawl before you can walk. You can't just get up one day and start moving.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in for another Authors Impact Hub podcast. I am your host, Juanita Woodson, and today I am joined by Raniesha Nelson. And please correct me if I pronounced your name wrong. I am really big on getting it right. People mess my name up all the time.
You're
Yes.
good.
Perfect. All right. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about your book and your author journey so far. So of course, I always allow the authors to do their own introduction. So if you can just really briefly, don't give us too much. We'll go into some dialogue in our Q&A. Just tell us really briefly about who you are, where you're from, and the title of the book we're going to discuss.
Okay. So I'm Raniesha. I am Chief of Medicine Research. We're working on where innovation meets science in the world and making a difference in the world. And um, that's done through a lot of neuroscience as well. And so my books are called, it's three series. It's Unknown Lifetime Unlocks, series one, Stories That Shape Us, Unknown Lifetime Unlocks, The Lifetime Is Still Unknown. And the third series is Unknown Lifetime Unlocks the Final Horizon. I am originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm excited to learn a little bit more about your background and your author journey. So, before we get started, if you can describe your author journey in one word, what would that word be and why?
Um, so it would be everything just came together at once. Well, it's a little bit more than one word, but yeah, it was just it was sudden. It was, yeah. I know, like, most authors, have experiences and that type of thing, and then they write about books. But no, this was just a sudden thing. I sat down, thought about, it, like, hey, this would be a good idea to write a book on. So, yep.
Okay, all right. Well, everybody starts somewhere, right? So, there's no one author that ever just had it all figured out from the beginning. We all started somewhere.
Right.
So, So you operate at such a high level, right, across science. We know a little bit, just briefly about your background, science, leadership, and creativity. Can you share a little bit, just a little bit more about the work that you do?
So the work that I do is managing a lot of clinical trials, overseeing different sites, overseeing a lot of neuroscience, working with those patients. Let's see, a lot of stakeholding, so budgeting for different medications.
Okay.
Um, and that's a lot more that goes into it. Of course, attending a lot of meetings as well. So yeah.
Yes, I know. The higher you go up, right, in leadership, the more meetings
Yeah,
you find yourself in. That is,
right. It's just like an all day thing. I'm just
yeah,
like, man, but it's worth it. I'm like it.
yes, absolutely. So, science, the medical field, very different from authorship. So what was that moment
Mhm.
where you said, okay, I need to write a book?
So that point was a lot of being in the medical field and actually knowing all the stuff I know about science so far. Of course, there's always more to learn throughout the journey of being a
Mm.
researcher. Um, but it was the actual motivation I had to write the book. It was the mindset, trying to get people and start people in a direction of, you got to have the motivation, the mindset, and if you're a leader, how to be a leader and what it
Yeah.
takes to be a leader. It's not just saying, I want to be a leader and applying for a position and that's it. Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
Absolutely. My personal opinion here, but I think that leaders lead regardless of if they have a title of a leader, right? You operate as a leader, something just clicks and you just are a leader. Before you get the title, you don't have to wait until you become the big boss to operate as a
Right.
leader.
Mhm. That's one of the things that so you know, so I was going to be a leader, and I'm just like, wait, what? But now I see it, so yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So what inspired you to write Unknown Lifetime Unlocks?
So basically, so I need to share experiences that led to lifetime experiences, basically that led to shape leadership.
Okay, awesome. So
So,
Unknown Lifetime Unlocks, what does that mean to you?
so it means to me that so basically I seen this, and when I created the cover photo, I already had it designed. It was crazy. Basically, it means to me. So it's like this mountain on the front cover. So basically, to me, it was like climbing up a mountain slowly with the key that unlocks at the top. Basically, it just unlocks everything.
So your book, it talks about resilience, leadership, and purpose. So how has your life experiences shaped you in a way that you understand those three areas?
So strength is huge. You have to be strong in every area that you do. You know, being a musician, you know, there's time in rehearsal, times I show up for different performances, but you know, you have to be strong and be the leader and show that, hey, yes, even though I may not want to do something, I still have to do it, regardless of no matter what, unless it's like a life and death situation. But it also means that, um, let's see, so it means also that you have to have a purpose as well. You know, just be out to go for something, but you don't know what you're going. You have to have those goals set. You have to be able to brainstorm. You have to be able to just set those goals and learn how to master them piece by piece and not just know that it doesn't come overnight.
Yes, absolutely. So can you share a defining moment from your own life where resilience truly unlocked a new level of growth for you?
So yes, that actually, so I think a lot of that has been, I would say, throughout my lifetime, basically, because it's been a lot of, you know, discovering strength, understanding myself, and motivation to do those things. So yeah.
Okay. Listen, so and you wear a lot of hats, right? Because you also mentioned that you're a musician. So
Mhm.
where did you find time to sit down and write and the busyness of all the things that you do?
I know. So yeah, so I became a musician at age 7. Starting off playing by ear for churches. Then my name got passed around the Cincinnati area. And then it extended to overseas and also out of town, out of state. So then at age 13, I joined high school band playing Sierra bass drum. And then in graduate school and college for 1 year, I did and choir. But after that, it was just like, yeah, I switched my major from vocal therapy and medicine to research. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. And what instrument do you play?
play piano, organ, and drums, and I sing.
On, and you sing. Listen. I love it. Yeah.
um, actually took opera for I think 5 years.
Okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
like
Truly awesome. So with your neuroscience background and then the medical research background, so how does your work in science kind of influence your personal view on growth and purpose?
so that influences my personal view on purpose, basically, because in anything there's a lot of growth, especially in science and neuroscience. There's a huge amount of purpose and growth and things that you just have to unlock and discover every day. So we could be working on a case where it's see where's the dementia and something else just unlocks basically within that study or within that case that the world doesn't know. Like we create medicines that we're creating a medicine now that actually is actually for that dementia, which is going to like around purpose and help people. So yeah.
Awesome. Wow. I know that's probably amazing to be a part of, just to be able to see something like that that can change lives and generations just being built from the ground up. Absolutely. So I'm sure in your work in neuroscience, right? So correct me if I'm wrong again, right? So neuroscience is the brain, right? Or is that different? Okay.
Correct.
I got that right. Okay, so neuroscience is the brain. So you maybe see like a lot of brain trauma.
Yes, so brain trauma injuries and see a lot of brain issues. EMDR therapy also ties in with this as well. So that's something where it's called let's see, get this right. EMDR is eye movement dislocation reprocessing. So any patient that client that comes in, they have trauma, you help them reprocess that trauma with the bilateral stimulation, which is following the diet across the screen. No matter how fast or slow it is, they release whatever's on the mind and it comes to the system back. But it works by two brain hemispheres connected. And it
Okay.
is a combination of traditional talk therapy as well.
Okay. So why is it important for people to understand the connection between trauma, healing, and purpose?
Um, well, the connection is so it's like if you don't have the resilience, you can't heal. If you don't have purpose, you can't move forward. If you don't have healing,
Wow. That's definitely a gem that you just dropped right there. That's very important. I think our ultimate purpose for our life, right? Definitely helps us to move forward. And when you know your purpose, if you ever have to heal from something, reverting back to what your purpose is can help you through your healing processes too, right? So,
right?
as a leader, I know myself, but I'm sure you know because you wear a lot of hats, right?
Mhm.
Structure, execution, and discipline. What does that look like for you in your everyday life?
I was just gonna get to that. So structure every day, Monday through Friday, I have a set schedule. I write down every day on the planner, even on weekends, just family stuff, I write on the calendar, on the planner. Um, discipline. You have to be very disciplined to even be a musician, honestly. And a lot of time management is huge as well. So, if I might have 1 hour block to do something, and it's a slim week, I can actually cut that time in half if it's time 30 and 30 minutes to create whatever it is I need to do. Um, let's see, discipline is huge because I feel like structure and discipline for me are really huge because of just like many hats I have to wear, especially at work. Um, Someone may have something priority to do, and I will get that done. But something else might come about, whereas I have to stop in the middle. It's like you have to finish your tennis you start.
Absolutely. So did you implement so that time blocking in your writing process?
I did not implement that, but I think like in the book series 3 that it explains like the person can kind of read between the lines and then the way I explain like breaking up goal setting, yeah, time management.
Okay. So what was maybe one of the challenges that you had when writing your book, and how did you overcome that challenge?
See, so one of the challenges I had was not making it too long because this can go on and on and on. It's just like I gotta stop somewhere. I have to actually put a stop to things. I have to explain it as well. So yeah, that was the most challenging. But the way I overcame that is I sat down, I brainstormed out, what's the most important, what's the main ideals, what's the main points. And also did like what's different as a character. So I created a thing PowerPoint to actually plan what I was going to talk about, how I was going to do it, how many slides, or which what terms of pages that I would write as well.
Okay, I like that. I like that brainstorming technique to use a
Yeah,
PowerPoint as your outline. That's different. I think that I may have to take that from you and try that for one of my books. Yes, because
yeah,
it
it
makes
actually
it visual, right?
yeah,
Awesome. Yes. So you played in church, right?
mhm.
So how important has your faith been in guiding you through your journey, your career, and all the things that you do?
So yes, my faith has been very important in actually in music and the things I do. I know that without faith, this will be possible. Without God, this will be possible. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. So for someone who's listening who feels like they have potential, but they don't know how to unlock that potential, what is one step they can take today?
So one step I would say they can take is start setting small goals. Small goals as in what you can master maybe within a 2 week period or a 3 week period. And then start mastering goals, figure out the ways you can master it, either write it down or either maybe day by day, figure out, okay, well I did this day. What can I do tomorrow to make it better? And then go from there and then set big goals, which means outcome goals, midterm goals. So set those midterm goals for like a 3 month period. Like what can I do to get here, here, here? Write it down, figure out how to master it, then go on to goals. Long-term goals, can be it take a while, but you eventually get there. So I would say that's the main thing.
Yes. And those small, I say small wins, but I mean, a win is a win. So we don't even have to look at them as being small, but those goals that you're accomplishing in the short term, they ultimately can lead you to your long-term goals, right?
I agree. Yeah, a lot of people don't think that. They think that they have to master big goals all the time. It's just like, no, a small goals lead you to the big goals. But first, you gotta crawl before you can walk. You can't just get up one day and start, oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you do get up and just start running as a baby, we probably need to test them because they probably are very intelligent.
You probably need to test them. Yeah, no, that's true.
Absolutely. So you're building across research, media, and storytelling. What kind of legacy are you intentionally building?
The legacy I'm intentionally building is having a impact on the whole world. Um, Everybody wants to become successful. Everybody wants motivation, but everybody doesn't know how to stay motivated. They may stay motivated for a couple of weeks or a certain duration of time, but you have to stay motivated throughout everything. You have to have clarification. You have to be clear on the direction and the path you want to take. You want to also have to have a certain mindset. I think that's really important because a lot of people don't have a certain mindset, or maybe they do for a while, but how do you keep that mentality going? So let's say that.
Yeah. So when someone finishes Unknown Lifetime Unlocks, what do you want them to walk away understanding about themselves?
So I want them to understand about themselves that you can reach their goals, you can stay motivated and be motivated. You also can overcome things, overcome obstacles in your life. You also can grow and have strength and read their word as well.
Absolutely. So how can we connect with you, right? You do amazing things. You sound like the woman to be connected with so that we can keep that motivation going, right? So that we can get the tools that we need to be disciplined, to be structured, because you wear so many hats. I am just sitting here trying to see how you do it all. So
Yeah,
how can we
absolutely.
connect with you?
So I have Facebook. You can find me on Talita Coney. Coney is spelled CKUNI. And then I have a Instagram for Nelson's and Chase the Emerald, um, Chase the Jordan. Rather. And then I have another page, which is the author page called Innovative Mixology. And then I have a third page called Trio RX Music.
Okay. Listen, because just managing all of those pages,
Yeah,
flipping
I know.
those your hats on and off, yes.
Yeah. So you gotta post everything on this page, post something on that page. Yeah.
Yes, but you sound like you have the drive, the will to do it and to make a difference and to make an impact. So of course I always end the show with this last question, and that is what impact do you want your book and your work to leave on the world?
So I want my book and my work to leave on the world that you can do anything that you put your mind to, but it takes steps to get there. It takes work. Um, Nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
And you have to stay motivated with a certain mindset and understand the path that you're going to.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, thank you so much for taking this time out to chat with us. It's just Dr. Nelson, right? You are amazing.
Oh, I'm a doctor. I'm not.
Okay. Okay. So
Um,
you
so I was gonna explain that too. So with the background that I have within like the research and everything, so a lot of people think that I get that wrong. A lot of people think that you have to be a doctor, but in this field you don't. You very close, but yeah, yeah,
there
not
you go.
even that.
Are you I was gonna ask, so are you planning to become a doctor one day? Like, is that on one of your long-term goals?
I don't think so. It's just like so much more work. Like I just feel like I'm just tired of studying. And then I have like my certifications and different things in research as well. So I'm not trying to add the extra point to it and how you move up to this position, which a lot of people don't do. So yeah.
Okay, so you still listen, making that difference that you need to make. You're in the right place, in the right position, and then now your books are an extension of that. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more, of course, as you go on your journey and make sure we connect with you on social media. And then how can we get copies of your books?
Well, it's going to be released soon. It's going to be released on Amazon for sure. I'm not sure of any other sites as of yet. I do know that you can buy the paperback copy online as well, Amazon, for now. But yeah, as more sites become available, I'll definitely keep you updated.
Absolutely. So listen, when you go and you purchase a copy of her book, make sure you leave a review. We know how important reviews are for
Mhm.
authors, entrepreneurs, business owners. So make sure that you connect and leave a review. And then when you tune into this episode, drop a takeaway in the comments, like, subscribe, and then share this episode with someone who needs to hear it, right? We are going to be disciplined, structured, and set those short and long term goals so that we can be successful. I appreciate you joining us, Raniesha. Thank you so much. And until next time, y'all take care.
All right, thank you.